Hey, what's up, my nerds?
I'm Air Bear.
And I'm Chasen, and you're just in time for your weekly dose of nerd news.
Clink! Today is Friday.
I never know if we're gonna clink or not gonna clink.
Saturday, September 30th.
What's it gonna be?
Clink.
Okay.
Today is Saturday, September 30th, last day of September, and this is what happened this week, starting things off with the major
Big
news.
time stuff.
Well, one of the major things that has happened this week. The writer's strike has finally ended.
Pew, 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 pew.
So it ended this last Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. 12:01 a.m.
I was wondering about that.
And so some of the agreements that were decided upon were restrictions against the use of AI, transparency in streaming viewership numbers, annual pay increases, increased health and pension rates, and increased compensation for writers for TV series, and improvements in staffing for staffing and duration of TV writers' rooms. Which I heard what those were. It's like where you put a whole bunch of writers in a room and make them think of stuff.
Lock the door.
It sounds like an idea box or something. So as far as the restrictions against the use of AI, what that is going to entail is AI cannot write or rewrite literary material. AI-generated material will not be considered as source material, meaning that AI material cannot undermine a writer's credit or separated rights. A writer can choose to use AI if they would like to. The company cannot force them to use AI.
Okay.
And as far as the viewerships, the streaming viewership numbers and having transparency behind that, it's pay increases for projects that hit a certain viewership. So basically, just more information being given out about how much these shows and movies that are streaming are actually making and how popular they really are, so that they can properly compensate the people who are involved in making that show.
Right. Okay. And now it's my turn. Here we go. So actors will resume their negotiations starting October 2nd. So what that means is that writers can get back to writing, but actors cannot get back to acting just yet because they are still on strike. So things like TV talk shows, which were like the most immediately affected shows out there because they're writers, they have to write every day pretty much to keep up with the events. They can get back to work under the strike laws for actors, and so they can get back to work. So Jimmy Fallon, Colbert, Myers, and Jimmy Kimmel, they're going to get back to their respective shows on October 2nd, while The Daily Show is going to return October 16th. Sounds like they're still finding their hosts, yeah. But they are clear to get back into it. And Drew Barrymore, that's another show. I can get back to it, although she caught some backlash during the strike. But hey, sounds like they're all free and clear.
So in movie news announcements, Jim Gunn, the co-leader of DC Studios, has confirmed.
Just talk through it.
It's an airplane. We never have airplanes where we live. It's
Not
weird.
that low, at least, or that loud.
Yeah.
Because there is an airport down the road.
Yeah, but we rarely have airplanes, I feel. So anywho, James Gunn, the co-head person of DC Studios, has confirmed some actors who are going to be reprising their roles, including John Cena, who played Peacemaker, which
so
I don't know where that's
you
from.
can see him.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Peacemaker. Like, I know he's from things, but I haven't seen the things he's in.
Yeah.
I want to say Suicide Squad, like the later one.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. Zolo Marijuan, the person who played Blue Beetle, is going to be reprising his role as Blue Beetle. And Viola Davis will be reprising her role as Amanda Waller. So, along with this, James Gunn mentioned that, so there's been some confusion about
We're still recording. You can
Okay.
still see us, right?
So James Gunn said that there has been some confusion about when does the DCU actually start, what's included,
Yeah.
which I think the confusion is that there was something said beforehand that's now changed because I feel like it might be ratings. So anywho, James Gunn is now saying that the official DCU canon will begin with Creature Commandos, the animated series. So works such as Blue Beetle, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Aquaman, and The Lost Kingdom will be part of the DC Extended Universe. I'm not sure where Flash fits into that. I think everything before Creature Commandos is not part of the DCU canon.
Moving forward.
Yes, well, everything that came out before everything that has come out prior to Creature Commandos, the animated series, will all not be part of the DCU canon, but it could be part of the DC Extended Universe. So Blue Beetle, Zack Snyder, Man of Steel, Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom are all part of the Extended Universe. Did not mention where Flash fits into that. Because I was under the assumption or understanding that Flash was the initial film that was part of the
Kickoff.
the canon stuff. And now it seems like all of a sudden it's being pushed back to, nope, it's going to be this animated series because we can do animated well. So, curious.
Yeah. And I can honestly say I don't remember what they said about.
So, I'll tell you where this was announced. I was wearing a black tank top in the video. You were sick. And I did the video by myself.
Ah, okay.
And I went through all the movies, like what James Gunn announced. He had like this video that he put out where he talked about like all the projects that are coming out, and like a brief synopsis, and then what's going to be part of the DCU and the DCU Extended Universe, all of that.
Okay.
That's where it was announced. It was a lot of information, so I don't really remember what I said. But I thought I
remember the
said the
feeling.
Flash was going to be included.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, let's talk about Shrek. Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Airbnb. That's right. They have brought Shrek's Swamp to life. It's in Scotland, though, so hear me out. In the Scottish Highlands, which I'm assuming is in Scotland. I'm realizing that. But starting in October 13th, hey, this is what I know. That's when you can start booking it. And as far as right now, the rate for the room is $0. Now, that's not to say that they're going to pay for your trip or anything. You do have to pay for your trip, and those, I guess, lucky enough to get the booking.
You have
will
to
be
pay
able-
for your travel.
Right. So if you want to make it out to Scotland, you got to pay for that. But those lucky enough to get the room will be able to stay in Shrek's Swamp. And the company, Airbnb, they're going to make a one-time donation to Hopscotch Children's Charity. Yeah, so that's just even more coolness on top of the coolness that is Shrek Swamp. And I saw pictures, and of course, I guess you can Google it. It looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty
Yeah.
cool. I thought I was looking at animated pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So in TV news, there's probably going to be a lot more TV news coming up soon because the writers are back. But one of the first things is that Echo, that Marvel spinoff from another Marvel spinoff.
Hawkeye.
Yes. I knew what it was, just
Oh.
it's a spinoff of a spinoff. Anywho, it has a new release date for January 10th, 2024. This has not been confirmed by Marvel Studios or Marvel Cinematic Universe. It hasn't been confirmed by Marvel, but it was confirmed by somebody. I don't remember what the name of the company was, but it was something that said that Echo has a new release date of January 10th, 2024.
Cool.
Also, as far as trailers, there is a new teaser trailer for Alice in Borderland, and Alice in Borderland has been renewed for a third season on Netflix.
Very cool.
Yep.
I gotta stop touching this while you're touching it.
Yeah.
I'll let you. Go ahead. I approve of that scrolling. Okay,
Event news.
In event news, Sir Michael Gambon. Sorry for mispronouncing that. But he's passed away at the age of 82. And I know in our household, we knew him as Professor Dumbledore. At least from the Prisoner of Azkaban series, or Prisoner of Azkaban movie onward in the Harry Potter franchise. So he's passed away. And apparently he was also Franklin Bean from Bunce, Boggs, and Bean.
Buns and bounce and beans. Bunts
Bunts
and bogs and beans.
beans.
One fat, one short, one lean. Oh, lean. One fat, one short, one lean.
One fat, one short, one lean.
Okay.
These
Something
crooks, though different in looks, are nonetheless equally mean.
Oh, they're all
Yes,
equally
they're
mean.
all equally mean. Fantastic, Mr. Fox. But
I
he's
wonder if
passed
he's
away.
the one who had the apples.
I feel like he was, like, thinking back on The Voice.
Okay.
I think The Voice was the one with the cider.
The apples, the cider.
Yeah.
I think he was blind. His wife was blind.
No, I think she was like, was that his wife? Or like an employee or something?
I thought it was his wife.
May have
'Cause
been.
she went down there to get apple cider for him to drink.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like something an employee would do.
Maybe.
No? But
Well-
fantastic, Mr. Fox.
If you know the lyrics, put those lyrics in the comments.
It's also in the book.
Nice. Very nice. But he has passed away at the age of 82.
The Golden Globes have added 2 new categories for the 2024 award season. The first category is Best Blockbuster, which there will be 8 nominees. And they're going to include streaming or theatrical blockbuster movies. So the criteria to be considered for a theatrical blockbuster movie in this category is that you needed to have grossed, or the movie needed to have grossed $100 million during its release, 100 million of which should be domestic. For streaming releases, they're going to use data gathered by recognized sources, and it's probably going to be based on vast viewership. So examples of movies that would qualify for this category would be Barbie, Super Mario Brothers, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Oppenheimer. I'm fairly sure Oppenheimer and Barbie are probably going to make it in there. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 probably has already made it. Already
Somewhere
has,
else.
yeah, somewhere else for like.
Maybe best performance.
What is that?
Supporting?
Sci-fi. Not
Oh.
sci-fi. Visual effects.
Visual effects.
It might have made it in for visual effects. Except Oppenheimer might have also made it in for that as well.
Possibly. And so it was.
But Oppenheimer. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
We might get into this later. But Oppenheimer would have already qualified for other things. Anyway, it probably already would have been nominated for a lot of other things, I feel. Because
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is it seems to fit the mold of the typical movie
Yeah.
that's included. Barbie and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 do not fit that mold.
And I wonder, like, okay, so one thing is the gross of $150 million during the release. I think you said $100 million.
Oh, $150 million.
Yeah, if anybody's using this in case of an emergency, you need to know exactly how much money. But one thing I was interested in is that this seems like it's, depending on how they do it, very cut and dry. Like, obviously Barbie's gonna win for best blockbuster.
Well,
if it's just based on numbers.
It depends on what they're basing it on. Like, because I was also thinking that, is it like what movie made the most money, or are we basing it on the best movie that fits that category? Which I think that is what they're doing.
Okay,
So not because you can easily look to see which one made the most money, and it's like they already have their award of making the most money.
And for me, that's the difference. Not to say that not to say that I have anything against
this category.
Recognizing the best blockbuster. It was like, yeah, you made a lot of money, and hey, here's your trophy, man. Awesome job for making all that money. Because it's kind of like YouTube when they give out the plaques for having 100 million subscribers or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I guess that those go to multiple. Whenever you reach that milestone, you get that plaque. Mm-hmm. Where I guess that's the confusion for me. But if you add hey, this is the best movie of the blockbusters, then okay, that adds another layer where there's some suspense when they open up that envelope to call out who the winner is. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because you have a movie like Barbie versus Super Mario Brothers versus Guardians 3 versus Oppenheimer, and it's like, well, what's the measuring stick for best? with those.
Well, it's based on the critics.
Right.
The
right.
critics, they're part of their brain trust. I don't know. They have like people who are voting on these movies.
Yeah.
It's not people's choice,
Yeah, and I think
but it's including a
coming-
little bit of people's choice
yeah,
by using Blockbuster
stuff
and money.
that people paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. I'm interested to see how it goes. Yeah. Cool. All right. I'm going to keep talking because I am going to mention the next
Second
category, which is Best Performance in Stand-Up Comedy. There are going to be 6 nominees in this category, and it's going to be based on comedy specials that have aired on cable or streaming services. So not like my favorite comics that I like to watch on YouTube Shorts or TikTok or anything like that. Although I don't do TikTok. But if I did, not those comics. Unless they also had a special that streamed on cable. But it's going to be focusing more on the traditional stand-up comedy format.
So the Blockbuster, which I realized I should have mentioned this earlier, the Blockbuster category is similar to what the Academy Awards tried to implement in the 2018. In 2018, for the show was going to air in 2019, and the category for them was Outstanding Popular Film, for which Black Panther would have been a contender that year. They got rid of the category because of critiques that they were trying to acknowledge popular movies that don't typically get nominated for Best Picture. Now, that's what I was getting at before with, like, those, like, Oppenheimer is going to be the type of movie that would normally get nominated for a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Barbie would not. Guardians of the Galaxy would not. The movies that we typically watch, probably you included, more than likely won't be nominated. And that's the kind of thing, like, I kept noticing whenever I watched those shows back when I used to watch them. It's like, I've never heard of that movie. I've never heard of that movie. Oh, I've heard of that one. But, like, vast majority of the movies I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I guess these are good movies because other people are saying they're good. So maybe I should go watch them. Let's see what Slumdog Millionaire is about.
Yeah.
But it wasn't movies that, like, I recognized and I saw. So I feel like making it based on, like, having a category, it's basically a popular movies, and for the people, it's like making it more relevant.
More accessible, more relevant.
Yeah, for today. Because this is what people are interested in. More people are going to watch if you're having movies that they're actually interested in, that they can root for, or actors and stuff like that they can root for, instead of something they've never heard of.
Yeah. And
Same.
it seems like an odd critique of, you're trying to acknowledge popular movies.
Who cares?
What
What difference does it make?
What's the problem with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was strange because I was reading, I read the article as well. It's also like a like if you're watching something and they do like the honorable mentions where it's like, hey, this didn't fit into these categories, but we want to recognize these movies because they're doing great things. And it's like, what's the problem with that? A little bit of acknowledgement. All right. Cool. Let us know what the problem with that is in the comments. Okay.
Someone goes on a rant.
Oh my gosh. All right. Speaking of problems, let's talk about the collaboration between Pokemon and Van Gogh, the Van Gogh Museum. Seemed like such a great idea, and I do still hold that was a pretty cool idea.
It was.
And I'm looking forward to more stuff like this. But then the scalpers came. So it sounds like that I believe it's the Amsterdam Museum, the Van Gogh Amsterdam Museum, released an exclusive Pikachu trading card, Pikachu with a gray felt hat. And it was supposed to be like a prize for when kids go on a little quest and learn things about Van Gogh and complete their little booklet. They can bring it up to get a card with Pikachu. Innocent enough. I'd love to do something like that, even though I'm not a kid and have no kids. Seems pretty cool. Until people remember that eBay is a thing. So apparently what happened is scalpers came down and took all of them, and have later, since then, posted the cards on eBay for, hundreds of dollars to $1,500. Now, it looks like the museum has come out and apologized, on behalf of, because they didn't do anything wrong, but they apologized to those children and families that didn't get their cards. and said they're gonna work on getting more cards so that they can continue to do it. So that's I guess the bright side of it, is that they're not giving up on it after that happened, and they are going to try to source some more cards and hopefully figure out some ways to
keep scalpers from getting it.
And get them in the hands of
Kids.
the intended audience,
Yeah.
kids. So
That reminds me of Disney, how whenever they have the new merch that comes out at Disney,
yeah,
people will go there and buy like all of it up. So now they have a limit on, I think you can just buy a maximum of 10, which...
it's still... What do you think they're doing with 10
Do you have
bags,
a family of
Disney?
10?
Right. Come on. Where are your children? Where are all these mouths you're feeding and trying to clothe?
How did you get to Disney with a family of 10?
That's the real question.
Anyway, how are you even enjoying
How are you-
yourself and like not tied down
Exactly.
by
With
these
7
extra
screaming
people?
children. 3 of them are yours. The others, you're not sure where they are.
Where they are and where they came from.
Yeah, they're covered in cinnamon bun.
And they're all angry
They're
for whatever
hot
reason.
and angry, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, you're in Disney World. Anywho, so it's similar to how maybe they'll do something like that to where there's a limit to how many you can pick up at one time.
Or you have to have a kid with you. I don't know. Maybe scalpers.
Except
Maybe scalpers are so bold that they'll take their kids with them.
Yeah,
But
I'm
we don't
wondering.
have kids, and it's something that I
Yeah,
would like to
and
do too.
I don't want to be what's that? I can't think of the word against because we don't have kids.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about like the Children's Museum of Atlanta, where it's like you have to have a kid to go into the Children's Museum, which
Do you?
I'm pretty sure that's a rule. Like you have to go in there with a kid because it is a children's museum. Or like the
need to
playpen
learn
at Chick-fil-A. Like
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
like to go in there and slide on a slide, not necessarily with kids in there, but I'd like the opportunity to. But I understand that I cannot because I'm not a child. And not to say they shouldn't have cool things like this for adults, but I can see where they're trying to go with, and that could be an option for them, is to say, hey, you got to do this with your kid. It's intended for kids because I think, they're trying to expose more kids to Van Gogh through Pokemon. So with that in mind,
Do one per family.
oh,
Just one per family.
yeah. I mean, I saw the video. If each one of those people in that video wanted a card, I imagine they would have sold out as well. It was a mob. It was crazy. And it wasn't that many. They can only fit so many people in that vertical frame. But it was frightening.
So anywho, Disney Plus has kind of is starting to do what Netflix did. And they announced this a little while ago that they were going to start cracking down on the password sharing. So that crackdown is beginning with Canada this November. So similar to Netflix, you cannot share your you can share your passwords, it's not going to do you any good, but you can't share your password with anyone outside of your home, or you can't share your account with anyone who's outside of your home. And felt like there was something else I was supposed to mention along with that.
Well, it's happening in Canada, so it's more than likely eventually going to make its way down here.
And I think that was what we heard before, is that it's going to be happening here in 2024, which means we're going to need to get our own account. For you mooching off of somebody else's.
Oh, the time has come. They've come for us.
So, speaking of Netflix has mailed out its final DVD. It mailed it out yesterday after 25 years of movies by mail.
Pretty cool.
I never had a movie from Netflix like
You didn't
by
have
mail.
a subscription? Or like your parents didn't? Mine did. For sure.
I didn't know you had to have a subscription. I thought you just
Yeah.
paid for the movie that you wanted, and they sent it to you.
I say subscription, but I don't know. This was before I was making those kinds of choices. So I just knew that Redbox was,
Yeah.
or was it Netflix?
Easier.
Netflix was
Oh.
coming to our house with movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never happened for us.
Yeah, it was a little package, a little
That
sleeve.
says, I saw something about red envelopes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, in gaming news. So, talking a little bit more about the writer strike, SAG-AFTRA strike, video game actor strike. Not officially a thing, but in light of everything that's been happening, it looks like a strike is
Imminent?
looming.
Not imminent. Could happen. Potential.
Somewhat likely. So they're not going on strike, but SAG-AFTRA has voted to authorize a strike for voice actors or actors working in video games. So they have the power to call a strike if negotiations aren't going anywhere. So, hey, what are they looking for? They're hoping to set up pay increases to compensate for inflation. No surprise here. They're looking for protection against AI. And mandatory breaks and set medics for on-camera actors or performers. So, for instance, voice actors get a 5-minute rest per hour, I guess to recoup their voice, which is understandable, all that screaming, yeah. But on-camera actors, once again for video games, they don't get any mandatory set-aside break time. So, yeah, you think about someone like Cal Kestis, who's doing all those lightsaber battles and all of that extensive
Jedi work.
Right,
yeah.
right. Not getting any set aside break, and you start to wonder, hey, what's that about? But yeah, those are the things that it sounds like they're trying to negotiate for, and if those negotiations fail, might be looking at another strike.
So speaking of Cal Kestis, or Cameron Monaghan,
Yeah.
he was at some convention and he announced or mentioned that they are already working on a third game that he has been involved in for the Star Wars Jedi series. It has not been confirmed by anybody other than Cameron Monaghan. I would imagine if Cameron Monaghan says that he's working on a Star Wars Jedi series...
Who are we not to believe him? Maybe...
I mean, I don't think he's doing all those jumps for nothing.
This is for the next game, right? Why is he just recording me on a phone? What's going on, guys? Yeah.
So I would imagine that he thinks he's working on a third game, that he is indeed working on a third game.
Oh, I hope so. So, speaking of games, because that's where we are in this part of the show,
where it devolves
into madness. Among Us will be coming to PS VRS, among other games. So, yeah.
Another game, Elder Scrolls mobile game, is going to be available on Google Play. And according to the description, it puts you in control of your very own castle and dynasty.
Oh.
Dynasty. Oversee, I thought I said dynasty. That's not a word. Oversee your subjects as the years come and go. Families grow and new rulers take the throne. So it's going to be similar to the Fallout Shelter game that Bethesda put out some time ago. It is another time management sim, which I imagine means simulation.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
That's what I'd imagine too. All right, and president and CEO of PlayStation, Jim Ryan, will be retiring in March 2024. The interim CEO is none other than Hiroki Totoki. He's going to be starting on April 1st, 2024. Okay. So, good job not laughing.
I had to drink water.
While we were recording our just practice run, we could not get past this guy's name, Hiroki Totoki, because it just sounds
made up.
It just sounds made up. I'm sure
the rhyme.
He's a great guy, and I was like, you know what? We got to hold it together when we're actually recording this, because this is this man's name, okay? But then I look at the date.
Oh.
And it just hit me. He's going to be interim CEO April 1st. 2020, really. April 1st. Does that set off any red flags for anyone else? No? Okay, we can keep moving.
Hiroki Totoki.
Yes, but congratulations, Mr. Hiroki Totoki. And after April 2nd, I will apologize if I don't hear anything else about it. I'll apologize in my mind if I don't do it on video, because I might forget. Anyway,
probably will forget.
What's next?
So the people behind all the scary movies like Megan and I don't know, the Blumhouse people. You listed off a whole bunch of them.
And I said
before.
Among Us as a joke. Purge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Megan.
Those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Blumhouse people, a while ago we mentioned that they are going to be getting involved in video games.
Mm-hmm.
So Blumhouse Games will begin their venture into video games with new ideas instead of using existing IPs. So there's not going to be a Megan game.
Not yet.
I mean, not yet. They're going to focus on new ideas first instead of existing IP. So they are looking into low budget independent projects that can be turned into games, and they may consider, if it does well, may consider turning that game into a movie similar to Last of Us, except low budget, because I don't think anything in Last of Us was low budget.
Yeah. All right.
So now stirring up the rumor mill.
Stirring up that pot, throwing rumors in it.
All right. So, according to Deadline, Marvel Studios will soon be looking for a writer for a new X-Men movie. They're going to begin that search this fall.
Oh, so this will mark the first X-Men movie since 2019 when Disney purchased Fox. So exciting stuff. And they mentioned, well, reportedly, that they're not in a rush. So it sounds like the decision's going to be made early 2024. But once again, this is in the rumor mill because Marvel declined to comment on the matter.
Which a couple of the other things we mentioned, Marvel or DC or somebody declined to comment, and it didn't end up in the rumor mill because they sound more real. This one sounds pretty real too, but we just threw it in the rumor mill.
Yeah, and I put it somewhere else,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, should this go in the rumor mill? And then you put it in the rumor mill.
I had already had it in the
unknowingly.
rumor mill.
Yeah, I didn't. So there we go. We'll see.
Top of the month. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's start with Netflix.
So, top of the month, because we didn't do it last month, and I think we've only done it twice. Top of the month is at the beginning of the month, a lot of streaming services will release a lot of content on the 1st. So, instead of like having a huge list of things that are coming out on the 1st of October, we just do top of the month. And these are the things coming to the different streaming service, starting off with Netflix.
Yes, Pompeii is coming. Pompeii from 2014 is coming to Netflix. Also, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, and One Piece animated. Well, more seasons of the animated show, not the live action show, is also coming to Netflix along with Dune.
Mm-hmm. You know which Dune that is, right? It's the movie. The movie
I
is coming.
assumed it was the movie, and
Yeah.
then when you asked, I was like, the show from 1980s or something? I don't know.
So Hulu has a Huluween theme,
Oh.
but most of the movies aren't Huluween. Actually, so that's another thing is a lot of the streaming services had a lot of like Saw,
Like horror stuff,
yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, those sorts of things. I did not include those because it was like all of the Saw movies 1 through 10, all of the whatever's movie 1 through 6, all of them except for the third one, and it was like kind of repetitive, and a lot of them had the same ones. And I don't care anything about those movies.
She doesn't.
And so I just included the movies that I was interested in. Well, movies and shows. So, Huluween, coming to Hulu, October 1st. Sword Art Online. Ooh, I don't know how to say that word. Alicization? I
think
guess
you nailed
that's a
it.
real word. Complete Season 2, dub. Dark Shadows, that came out in 2012. 2012.
Yeah, I was trying to do the same thing with 2014.
Die Hard 2, Godzilla 2000, Godzilla Final Wars that came out in 2005, Godzilla that came out in 1998, and It. Oh, okay, I did include
One horror movie.
One horror movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the 1990 film and the 2019 film, which I didn't know there was I knew it was a remake, but I didn't know that the other one came out in 1990.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot older than that. Also, Star Trek, the 2009. The one that came out in 2009. I include the years because, like, sometimes...
Well, there are a bunch of Star Trek movies.
Yeah, and when I hear the year that a movie came out, it's like, that movie.
Yeah. I get it. Because I was wondering. It's like, man, it's a lot of dates. But I get it.
Yeah.
So, coming to Amazon Prime, Die Another Day from
2002?
2002. Figure that date out. Godzilla vs. King Kong. This one is 2021. GoldenEye, Goldfinger, Green Lantern, Live and Let Die. Those are separate movies, by the way. That was just one long movie that you haven't heard of. Mars Attack. Is it Mars Attack or Mars Attacks?
I don't know.
Tell us in the comments. Masters of the Universe from 1987. Moby Dick, 1959. Spectre, which I'm pretty sure is a
Another
James Bond movie.
Yeah, it
from
looks like they have a
2015.
bunch of James Bond movies.
Cool. Suicide Squad, that's a 2021 movie. The Golden Compass, The Day After Tomorrow, and Tomorrow Never Dies.
So, like with Suicide Squad, you know how there's Suicide
Yeah.
Squad and then there's the Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Having a year would be helpful.
Yeah.
Because I don't know which one's which.
And that was 2021, by the way, if you want to look it up.
Disney Plus. Okay, so this is
cool.
weird stuff. So, there's going to be a game on October 1st now. I hate sports. The only sport I watch is rugby, and I'm like super into the Olympics. But other than that, I care nothing about football, and we live in the South. It's hard. So, Toy Story is going to be joining up with ESPN to replicate a game, like run for run, score for score, and pass for pass. So it's going to be the Falcons versus the Jaguars, which the Falcons are an Atlanta team.
Yes.
And it's going to be at 9:30 a.m. If you want to watch the actual game, if you like that sort of thing, you can watch on ESPN. But they're going to be like Toy Storifying it for Toy Story Fun Day Football. They're going to be making it like Toy Story.
Like the toys from Andy's room.
Yeah, it's like you're playing on.
football.
Yeah, it's like you're playing in Andy's room, and I mean it sounds really really cool. It's like the only time that I would ever be interested in football. This might be the way to get me into football. I still won't know what's happening, but I will care a lot more because there's like little animated figures doing things.
Yeah.
And the halftime show is going to be from none other than Duke Kaboom.
Kaboom.
So, yeah, that's going to be happening this Sunday at 9:30 a.m.
Cool.
on Disney Plus, or you can watch the actual show on ESPN or the actual game on ESPN.
So it's tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, movies coming to Max. Beetlejuice. I'm assuming the original. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
not the
yes.
new one.
Right, because that's
Doesn't
not a
exist
thing
yet.
All right. And Blade Runner 2049, which came out in 2017. Final Destinations 1 through 5. Freddy vs. Jason. Jumanji, the 1995 one with Robin Williams. Meg 2, The Trench. Oh, okay. That's already coming to Max. Oh, cool. The Neverending Story 1 and 2. Scream 1 through 3. Small Soldiers. Ooh, nice. And Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 version with Gene Wilder, I believe.
I included this scary movie because it's the only thing of interest that came out in Paramount Plus. It's not interesting to me, but
Somebody might like
somebody
it.
might like it. Pet Cemetery, which is misspelled, but it's misspelled on their signs too. But people who like Pet Cemetery probably already know that. Pet Cemetery Bloodlines will be coming to Paramount Plus.
And coming to Peacock, Back to the Future 1 through 3. Cowboys and Aliens with Jake Lonergan. And E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Ender's Game 2013 movie. How to Train Your Dragon. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, Still and Always. Sounds like a horror.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, that's what that was. I was supposed to say that one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And I Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Or something like that.
Okay, so the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
I guess so, based on what you said.
Yeah.
Because I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I stopped watching after that because I think they still had some more. And I was thinking, did they eventually have a I Know What You Did Last Summer Still and Always, like a soap opera, a horror movie soap opera sort of deal? But okay, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. And Jurassic Park 1 through 4 is coming to Peacock. And Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I mean, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
You know it's not said like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
It could be. That would be great. If he voice acted that for them, that would be amazing, and I'd watch it.
It seems like something.
He would do.
Yeah. Him. Seems like something he would do. The little bit that I know about him.
Yeah.
Which makes me, like, I hate Winnie the Pooh. But I
But the
love
voice
that
actor,
voice
though.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. really should go to cons. Like, if you don't go to cons, go to cons, because you learn more about the actors and make you appreciate them a lot more.
Yeah.
Actors, voice actors, yeah.
Or as actors. It's like, you are very versatile.
Yeah. I did not know you did all of that.
Yeah, or could do all of that.
Yeah. So, movies coming out between today, September 30th through next week, Friday, October 6th, are none.
Nope.
TV shows. So, I included this because it's important to me. The Ahsoka finale is coming out this week, October 3rd, on Disney Plus, 9 p.m.
Loki Season 2 is coming a day early on October 5th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, yeah. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Same with Ahsoka.
Right. Disney Plus.
Yep. All right.
Oh, well, that's been your weekly dose of nerd news. And hey, if you like it, be sure to comment, subscribe, do all the things. Let us know how much you like it. And you can check back next week for even more nerdiness. I'm Chasen.
I'm Air Bear.
And thanks for watching.
Clink.